everyone, it's me Pratima and today I'll be going through my top picks for the best budget gaming laptops right now, all priced under 50,000 rupees or some $500. As you can see in our test room, we have more than 20 gaming laptops lying around and we have been testing all of these budget options from most of the brands for the past 10 days, and here are my top 3 picks. But before we begin, I'll let you know right away that with the tight budget that I am working with, it's hard to find a gaming laptop with the more powerful RTX 30 or RTX 40 series GPUs. So all the laptops that I am going to talk about here have RTX 2050 graphics instead, configured with at least 16 GB of RAM and 512 gigs of storage. But if you want more power, you can find the RTX 3050 variant of these 3 laptops by adding like around 10 to 15,000 more. So with that said, let me kick things off with the HP Victus 15, and other than gaming, which I'll get to in a minute, my favorite thing about this guy is definitely its battery life. It has AMD's Ryzen 5 7535HS CPU inside, and I was easily getting around 5.5 hours of screen on time in light usage here, which is very impressive stuff. And the Victus 15 had almost no trouble running all the games that I wanted to play either, including a couple of CPU heavy titles like Counter-Strike 2 and FIFA 24, where I was getting well over 100 FPS on average. Even the 1% low numbers are quite impressive here, although in FIFA 24, in the cutscenes, you will notice slight lags and stutters. Next up, I tried some graphically demanding games like Cyberpunk 2077 and Forza Horizon 5 here, and both of them were perfectly playable at medium and high graphic settings respectively. Then again, I should tell you that the Victus 15 will not provide you the highest FPS numbers here compared to these 2 laptops that I have in the list. This is because it has one of the lowest TGP on a 2050 graphics. For thermals, the HP Victus 15 has no trouble playing games for long hours. When I set the fan speed to the max, it doesn't really get that warm in the keyboard deck, but in the max speed setting, it does get rather loud. Besides gaming, the HP Victus 15 is your typical budget gaming laptop with a plastic build, plenty of ports, and an average display that does not get too bright or is that color accurate either. But for a budget gaming laptop, it's alright. You get a smooth 144Hz refresh rate and G-Sync support to prevent screen tearing, so it's not all that bad. Alright, while the HP Victus 15 looks like a decent start, I think we can do better, like with the Asus Stu A15. It has the same Ryzen 5 CPU but a more powerful 70-watt rated RTX 2050, which is why whether you look at the benchmark numbers or the FPS scores in practically all of the games, the TUF A15 impresses handsomely compared to the Victus 15. I also like how Asus has tried to butter up the gaming crowd with this RGB backlit keyboard and the transparent WASD keys. It just adds a bit of flair. Other than this, the Asus Stu A15 almost has an identical display to the HP Victus 15, including a 144Hz refresh rate, 66% sRGB color gamut, and adaptive sync support instead of G-Sync. It does get much brighter for comfortable indoor usage, but to be honest, I think Asus could have shipped a more color accurate display considering its slightly higher price. Likewise, I found the TUF A15's battery life to be just so as well, all thanks to the small 48 watt-hour battery. In my typical usage, which includes editing some Word documents, browsing the web, and streaming YouTube, I was getting around 4 to 4.5 hours of screen on time, which is lower than what I was getting with the Victus 15. But still, overall, the Asus Stu A15 is a good pick for those looking for a budget performer with those RGB keyboards. Anyway, my pick for the best budget gaming laptop right now has to be this guy, the Lenovo Lock 15. First of all, the Lock 15's display covers 100% of the sRGB gamut, which means not only do games look nice here, but I can even use it for color-sensitive works like photo and video editing too. Likewise, I like how incredibly well built it is too, with no flex on the keyboard and a sturdy hinge, and I love this minimalist design language too. The Lock 15 has that clean look similar to Lenovo's more expensive Legion lineup of laptops, which looks really classy. Not only that, but typing on this keyboard and swiping through its trackpad feels really nice too. Plus, I also really love how Lenovo has tucked away some of the ports at the back of the laptop for a clean setup as well. even in terms of gaming, you are going to get the best FPS numbers for a budget laptop here. The Lock 15 comes with the Core i5 12450HX CPU, which is a more powerful and higher TDP variant of the H series Intel processor that you might find in similarly priced gaming laptops. So paired that with a 65-watt RTX 2050 graphics, I am getting better FPS on both CS2 and FIFA 2024 compared to the Victus 15 and the TUF A15 on this thing. I also managed better FPS on Cyberpunk 2077, averaging like 67 FPS at medium settings. Plus, I also noticed that the Lock 15 ran comparatively cooler than Asus TUF A15 and the Victus 15, so there's another reason to love this guy. However, its battery life is nothing impressive. I think most of you already know that Intel CPUs are just not as efficient as AMD processors, and this is a clear example of that. The Lock 15 barely lasted me like 2 to 3 hours in my everyday office work, which meant I pretty much had it connected to the charger at all times. So guys, these were my top 3 picks for the best budget gaming laptops at around 50 to 55,000 rupees right now. You can pretty much run most of the games at about medium settings while getting playable FPS on all of these options. Of course, if your budget allows, I would actually suggest stretching it to like 65 to 70,000 rupees for ones with a more powerful RTX 3050 graphics, but these are perfectly fine starter gaming laptops. My team and I are currently working on another laptop buy guide video, so if you don't want to miss that one, make sure you are subscribed to our channel. Till then, I'm Pratima and I will see you in my next video.